Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel, RVing Off the Grid. My name is Thomas Childs, or as I like to call myself, RV Camper Tom. Today's video is called Packing Your RV for the First Time. Now, this is sort of assuming that somebody goes off and they buy an RV and there's absolutely nothing in it. No silverware, nothing at all. And I'm really good at packing and I'm really good at living in a camper for months at a time. I ought to know what I'm doing by now. I bought my camping trailer 40 years ago, so by now it's pretty well packed. But anyway, the inspiration for this video actually comes from an experience that happened a while ago, over 20 years ago. My brother Bruce and his wife Mary decided to rent a cabin at Letchworth State Park, and of course the rest of us were invited too. Me, my mother, and they had a new baby at the time who's now in his 20s. And anyway, there was almost nothing in the cabin as far as the essentials of what you might need. Now, they did bring a few things. They did bring silverware. They did bring cups. They had a little water jug, and I think they had a camping stove, but they were horribly poorly packed. And you know, they lived in Florida and they came to New York, so they didn't bring anything with them. They had to acquire everything for this trip. Well, anyways, one day there was a piece of leftover food, and Bruce said, "We'll just wrap this up in the aluminum foil that we don't have." So this kind of stuck with me for a while. So what I did is the next Christmas I basically bought Bruce and Mary a camping kit. And let's take a look at the camping kit for a moment. And here it is, Bruce's camping box. Basically a tote. These are very good for picnics. And once inside, what do we have? We have a lot of stuff in here. We got the bags and wraps. We got some cups, some plates, which are on the bottom, you can't see them, and some pans, and a tablecloth. It's really nice. And as you can see, it says silverware, lighters, and just about everything you would need. Great for picnics. Just great for picnics. And the camping kit was supposed to stay in New York. And if they ever camped in New York, it would be there for them, waiting, and it would have pretty much everything they needed. or at least a whole lot of great essentials. The good news about packing is you don't really need me. I mean, I'll help you. I hope my video helps you out to remember little items that you may have missed. But I believe you could take an RV out with absolutely nothing in it as far as essentials. And within about 2 weeks, you're going to buy all that stuff. So that's the good news. But of course, the bad news is, what if you acquire an RV and you just don't have 2 weeks? You're on a shorter trip, so you may have problems. So please, if you're on a very short time budget and you're new to RVing, take a look at this video. I'll try to tell you what you need. All right, let's see what we got here. Now that we've got the drawers out, here we have silverware, sharp knives, butter knife, forks, you need those, spoons, various sizes. Okay, these you're probably not going to forget, but you might forget something like this, a peeler. You know, I feel like I'm trailer park trash if I go off into the woods and I can't peel a carrot or a potato. When you pack an RV, before we get too far into this, you should have completely separate utensils for your RV as you do for your regular house. If you don't, then you're trying to take things out of your house into your RV. Very difficult, time-consuming. You forget a lot of things, and then when you get back to your house, you might reach for something like this, and it's not there. I remember once I got into the woods and I didn't have a peeler because I realized I had borrowed it from the camper. You know, if you borrow tools from the camper, utensils, they're as good as gone. Okay? So, forks, knives, spoons. This other drawer is where I have a few other things. Pot holders. What else? Potato masher, if you need it. This scoop thingy, I don't even know what this thing is called, but I use this a lot. Spatulas. You gotta have spatulas. I like to have 2 of them because I tend to get one dirty, and you know, it's nice to have that second spatula. And soup ladle. I find myself making big pots of soup sometimes when I'm off into the woods, because cooking takes a lot of time. And you know, you don't always want to cook every day. You don't always have time, so it's nice to have a big pot of soup once in a while. And have leftovers. Oh, these you need. These you need, definitely. I'm gonna move some of this stuff over so you can see it. Can openers. You want to be able to get the contents of the cans out of the cans. That's kind of important. And Where's the other kind of can opener? It should be in here. Ah, there it is. Now, maybe they call these bottle openers. These are, you know, the other kind, but, you know, open up a can. You need these. Okay, what else? I like to have a big knife as well as a small knife. Another can opener. Tongs. I have more than one pair of these. These are great for taking corn out or for grabbing pieces of charcoal. I use these quite a bit. Some of these things are not really related to cooking. I don't know how much of this stuff you'll need, but for instance here I've got a pencil sharpener, and I use that because I use pencils and stuff like that. I've got a level in here so that I can tell whether my camper is level or not. And this is actually very important, a knife sharpener. I don't know if you can see that, but it's got the wheels. Anyway, my knives tend to get dull rather quickly. Yeah, I'm gonna put it upside down. That makes sense. Make sure I don't cut myself and video myself doing it. Some people get these wheeled ones. I was looking for these. I couldn't find any at the stores. I don't know, maybe they're outdated. But anyway, there you go. Knife sharpeners. Corkscrew. You might want to have one of these if you drink wine, or even for guests, if somebody else visits you and drinks wine. Now, as far as dishes are concerned, I got these, bunch of these. Ceramic plates, big plates. You need those. I also got some smaller plates here. I think you should have two sizes of plates, personally. But I got a bunch of these and a bunch of these. I don't need to show you them all. Bowls. Don't forget those. And if you like spaghetti, or even just to strain veggies that you cook once in a while, strain some sort of soup base, you should have a colander. Let's see, oh, that's a pretty neat pattern here. Could make a child's toy out of that. But anyway, I eat spaghetti or ravioli, and even no matter what you eat, you're gonna need one of these. Oh yeah. Yeah, you need one of these too. Grater. So, shredding carrots, slicing cucumbers, whatever. Cups and mugs. Some people maybe prefer glasses, glass drinking cups and stuff. I don't. I like the ceramic ones. But, there actually is another option that some people do. Some people, instead of doing these dishes, buying these ceramic dishes and mugs, they actually buy entirely plasticware, unbreakable plastic, and then they just kind of toss it in their cupboards. And when they take a ride, pretty much nothing happens. The stuff rattles around, but nothing breaks. A strainer, you gotta have one of these. I use these to strain grated potatoes to make Polish potato dumplings, and also sometimes to strain berries or tea. If I make tea from, I don't know, from sumacs or something like that, which I don't do very often. Egg slicer. There's no way that I would want to be caught in the woods, and if I hard boil an egg, I want it sliced up neatly. So don't go camping without an egg slicer. Several pots and pans. Don't know exactly how many you're going to need, but you probably should have a few. Looks like I got about 1, 2, 3, 4. I get them dirty a lot. You want to have a big pan too. There we go. Nice big pan. I gotta find a backdrop so you can actually see this stuff well. What a mess I've already made in the name of a video. I hope somebody watches it and benefits from it, because, it's a lot of work to go through to basically for nothing if nobody watches it. A big pot. Believe me, you need some big pots, so I carry 2 of these with me. The cover's in the cupboard there. I don't need to show you that, but it's always good to make big pots of soup or something like that. Oh, and by the way, if you take a big pot like this, just a quick thing, you can turn it into an oven. You can warm food up there just like an oven. Frying pans, should have several. I've got a cast iron one. I've got a non-stick, couple of non-stick ones. The small one is Teflon, so if you have a Teflon, you want to have a plastic spatula. Lots of lighters. I like to have lots of butane lighters, and I also got a piezoelectric lighter here for lighting my stove. Some of you may have stoves with spark units. I don't know. RVs can be very expensive, but they can also be very simple. The next thing that we have to have are the bags and wraps. Aluminum foil, plastic food wrap, food storage bags, your favorite size, whichever that is, and you need trash bags, kitchen bags, and bigger bags. I tend to throw everything out in the kitchen bags because I don't make that much garbage. The bigger bags are good to store things in, like clothes or something. You can use them for laundry. Oh, almost forgot. Blender. Now I have a habit, like I've already mentioned, have two of everything. Have separate silverware, separate cleaners, separate trash bags and wraps. I even have separate blenders. I got two right now, one for my regular house and one for my camper. These are great. I use these in the woods to make either cranberry jello, where I grate the cranberries, vegetable or fruit smoothies. What else? Oh, Polish potato dumplings. Grate the potatoes. They're called kataflana kluski. And some people think they're like a little bit like pierogi. They're basically dumplings that you eat with cottage cheese and maybe butter. Spices. I carry them in a spice bag like this. I don't recommend that you do this because there's too many spices and they get mixed up. It'd be nice if I had them alphabetically. Here I've got some oregano. Here I've got some cloves. Here I've got some dill weed. Mustard seed. Well, I don't have to give you the whole rundown, but unless you're a person who only likes 4 spices, you should probably alphabetize them somehow. Have a cabinet, or at least roll them up together and bubble wrap so that they're alphabetical. Anyway, other things you need: sweeteners. I like to use honey, maple syrup, and I've got brown sugar. Maybe you're a white sugar fanatic and brown sugar is against your religion. Hey, it's your RV. Take whatever you want to take, you know? I also got a little container of molasses, which I haven't shown here. Here I've got oils, cooking oil, vegetable oil, olive oil. It's easy to forget stuff like this, folks, you know, when you're packing and then, you know, you want to fry something and you got no oil, and what are you going to do? You're going to say, "Son of a bitch," which is what I usually do. Here's a bunch of other things that I take. A whole lot of liquid cleaners. I've got some 409. I got some window cleaner. I got some of this Clorox cleaner with bleach. Shampoo. Hydrogen peroxide. Very useful when I accidentally get a little bit of blood on, you know, white mattresses or curtains. It takes the blood stains right off. Floor cleaner. That's good to have this. Or a similar brand. Oh, can't forget dish soap. Absolutely have to have dish soap. But if you run low, you can always use shampoo or something if you have shampoo. Alcohol. Alcohol. What is alcohol used for? Well, this stuff works great for getting rid of grease. It evaporates completely, so you don't have to worry about taking away the alcohol, wiping it away or washing it away afterwards. It's also great because it kills bacteria. So if you ever suspect bacteria in your wash water, your rinse water, when you're washing dishes, you can throw a little bit of alcohol in there, and that's a good thing to have and do. Insect repellent. And then there's stuff for washing dishes, scouring pads. You want to have these. And then you might want to have sponges too. And then you have like Brillo pads or SOS soap pads. Let's see if I got the whole box. Yeah, I use these. Let's see what else I got here. A brush. Brushes are really good for cleaning the outside of a trailer. They're indispensable. Powdered cleanser. I have white tables here, and these things stain very easily from, you know, stuff like raspberries or blueberries, and the chlorine in these containers is great for taking it off. Floor wax. Floor polish, I guess it's called. Maybe they don't call it wax anymore. But I don't know if you can quite see this, but you know, this floor is shiny now because I cleaned it and I gave it a coating of wax, of this floor polish, sometime September or October, and I'm only walking on it in bare feet because I don't want to get this floor dirty, and it shines. And this floor still looks good in 2025. I installed this floor in 1985. I installed this floor in 1985, so almost 40 years ago. And let's see if we can get a close-up of that floor. It still looks pretty good. I don't know if that comes through on the video. There we have funnels. I don't know if you need these, but I use these once in a while, particularly to filter something, a tea or something like that. I also like to have a bag of twist ties. It's easy not to have these things, but I always end up hoarding too many. But at least they're there. Salt and pepper. Gotta have those. Don't go without them. Now, another thing you want to have are these food storage containers. It's easy to have a bunch of haphazard different ones, but you don't want to do that because it takes up too much space. When you live in a very small camper, like I do, for months at a time, space is at a premium. So if you get something like these, they'll stack right on top of each other, and they're not very much money. Very disorganized, but I have to take stuff out to kind of show it to you. Later on, I put this stuff away, and it's pretty well organized. Now, here I got a coffee pot, okay? I am not a coffee drinker, okay? but many of you probably are. So it's best to have a coffee pot and cook on a gas stove. See, because you never want to cook with electricity if you're going to go off the grid. And what I would do is I would use a timer. Use the timer on your phone, or get a separate timer and figure out how long it takes to cook coffee. You'll be cooking like a pro. If you want to cook with electricity, you're going to need thousands of dollars more in batteries and solar panels, and it's difficult. I think that if you cook anything with electricity, you're probably going to double or triple your daily electrical consumption immediately, which is why I don't have a microwave oven. There are ways to cook all kinds of stuff without microwave oven, and it takes longer, but the results are good. And also electric toaster. And if you plug into municipal electricity once in a while, maybe you want to have your electrical toaster. But I make toast without using electricity. Dish pans. You gotta have dish pans. What you don't want to do is probably don't want to wash all your dishes in a sink, because you're going to consume really a lot of water, and that takes up a lot of time to get fresh water and then discard the wastewater, the gray water. And so I prefer a more efficient dishwashing system with dish pans, and that's an entirely separate video. Flashlights. You want to have assorted flashlights so you can really see. Well, we all know what flashlights are for. You know what I really like? I really like these solar lights. And I use these as kind of as if they were flashlights, because you put them in the sun and they recharge every day, and then you don't have to worry. Headlamp. The other thing that I like to use are candles. Candles and oil lamps. I have an oil lamp, and this thing's really great for ambiance at night. It makes the campsite look very homey. Well, I'm getting low here on my ideas. So lots of pencils and pens. Gotta have those. And whisk broom. You should probably have at least 2 of these. I have 2. And sometimes when I can't find one, I got the other waiting for me. Toilet paper, should have that. I am not camping at the moment of making this video, but I also like to have separate everything, like, you know, vitamin pills, toothbrush, toothpaste. See, I got the toothpaste there. Nail clippers. And of course, gotta have paper towels. Have a couple of rolls. I don't like to run low on paper towels. Uh, Now, among other things you want to have a charcoal grill. That's a good thing to have. A few folding chairs. And these are of utmost importance, to me at least. Water jugs. I buy spring water and I save the jugs. I carry about 13 of these with me so that I can bring fresh water to my campsite. You can use the collapsible jugs, but you know, I don't like to because they put a terrible taste in the water, a plastic taste of water. Whereas these, even though they take up a lot of space, don't add any taste, any plastic flavor to the water. Now, one thing that's really, really good is a portable propane stove for the outdoors. Let's take a look at that. Now, these are really great if you're going to cook something that stinks, if you want to cook fish. I like to cook fish outdoors, not indoors. So, and this is what it looks like. I'm not actually going to set it up. They run on these little propane tanks. I'm not going to set it up, so you have to have the propane tank and the mechanism, but these are great for cooking fish outdoors or anything smelly. They're also very needed if the temperature is very high. You know, if it's 87 degrees outside, you don't want to start a fire in your camper and start cooking, because then you would need air conditioning. I don't have air conditioning. But anyway. Alright, well, that's today's video. Packing your RV for the first time. Now, incidentally, I want to tell you that if you want to contact me and ask me questions, it's perfectly fine to do so. Everything for me is RVing off the grid. You can contact me at email with rvingoffthegrid@gmail.com. My YouTube channel is RVing Off the Grid. I also have a Facebook business page, which is also called RVing Off the Grid. And there's some articles and some photos that you may want to check that out too. Now, my website, not surprisingly, is https://rvingoffthegrid.com. And I do want to tell you that I am a published author. My book, RV Electrical and Appliance Systems, Why They Don't Work and How They Could Be Fixed, is available via a link from my website to my online store. I can live off the grid months at a time very comfortably. And this book will tell you how, if you are interested in doing that. This is Thomas Childs, aka RV Camper Tom. I hope you enjoyed my video.